Hello, everyone. Welcome. There is no desktop audio, is there? Hey, hello, everyone. Welcome back to A Filmmaker Plays LA Noire by Rockstar Games. Hi, Betty. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, and haven't seen an episode of this before, hello, my name is Skye Blacke. I am a filmmaker, writer, and online content creator with degrees in film and writing, and I use those degrees to analyze video games from a narrative perspective so that we can better enjoy the media that we all love. We're playing through LA Noire, made by Rockstar Games. It is set in post-war America, so a bit of a trigger warning. There is trails of racism, sexism, ableism that are incredibly outdated and offensive, but as it is supposed to be a period piece, those kind of have to go hand in hand. It was wrong then, though, and it was wrong now. We are playing as Detective Cole Phelps, who is gradually working his way up the ranks in the LAPD. We are working traffic at the moment.
Gentlemen, I just got this handed to me. A hit-and-run felony at Ray's Cafe, 208 North Los Angeles. Got a patrolman on site. The coroner's on his way. Get down there, see if you can find any witnesses who can put a make on the car.
They weren't even his prints, and he still confessed.
Oh, I love that. We get to hear just a casual bit of
Homicide. I mean, you know you've made it if you got that desk.
Casual bit of police corruption there.
Hey, I gave his wife a tap. I said, all fair and loving you are.
God, for a game that came out, I think, over, 10 years ago now? It still looks really good. How about we can just burst into Captain Donnelly's room for no reason? So as the game goes on, as we progress up the ranks, the investigations do get a bit more,
I felt lousy collaring him.
interesting.
Coming, Stefan?
Yeah, soon as I'm finished. That's the guy. I heard he's an honest cop.
I feel like the early 2010s were the sweet spot of video game graphics. We figured it out, and we weren't trying to do 100% realism, which leads to looking super dated fast.
And he still confessed.
Man, everyone's just telling that story, huh? Yeah, I wouldn't say you're entirely wrong. Stylized graphics are always better than... Oh, the police station's connected to a hospital.
I say we bust in there and find the goddamn evidence.
Technical Services and Armory Receiving Hospital.
There's such a thing as soap, you know.
So I'm just having a wee explore. Let's go for a wee jog. What game to you looks the best?
I gotta have it.
Oh, I saw something. This isn't a game that's out, but I saw something on Twitter, and it just made me sad that it doesn't exist. Someone remade like a shot in one of the Pokemon games, the new 3D Pokemon games, in like a cel-shaded art style. Oh, so did he just ask why the word abbreviation is so long? And it's like, oh, the cel-shaded 3D graphics look so good.
I read about him in the paper.
And it's such a shame that that's not the direction they went for.
Looks like the DA is going to press charges. And Rodriguez might do time.
I'll speak to the DA. She's suffering.
I don't know, Cole. She's an easy make, and the DA likes convictions.
I'll convince him to let it go.
How you do that?
I'll give him something better.
So there we immediately already have the idea of Cole, maybe morality, not necessarily lining up with that of police work. Because the police have always had the inherent problem that they are judged based on how many cases they close, which gives them the added pressure of trying to close more cases quicker. Which means that they won't always necessarily do something that's right, but they will do something that gets them a case shot. So there we have the kind of... And it's very typical to see in these kind of detective genre places, because especially in a time where, and obviously this was made quite a while ago, but especially in a time where we are very openly critical of the way in which the police do things, you always try to justify it by being like, oh, but this one cop, he's different from the rest. He's actually a good person. You know, he'll fight the system and the bad guys. Of course, eventually kind of missing the point that they are one and the same, and you cannot be a member of a corrupt system without being corrupted yourself. An interesting piece of media to watch that in action is Brooklyn Nine-Nine's final season in the context of the rest of the other seasons. Like, it was very clear when they developed Brooklyn Nine-Nine that they wanted to make a sitcom set in a police precinct. They didn't want to make a police show. But they have the characters, you know, regularly doing unethical things for comedy. They have, you know, entire character arcs are Hitchcock and Scully, and to some extent Boyle are incompetent. Jake goofs around and doesn't take things seriously. And in multiple points, both Amy and Rosa have advocated for police brutality. And then they have, at the very end of the season, they turn around and are like, actually, they're all critical of the police force, and they've realized that the police force is a problematic thing to be a part of, and most of them have quit.
Cole Phelps, traffic. What have we got?
Thick as a white male named Lester Patterson. Walked out of the bar and into the street. Car hit over there, and he ended up here. Dead on impact by the look of it.
I like Cole copying the little hand
The
movements.
only one with anything useful to contribute is the young lady over there. She lives above the bar. Name is Shannon Perry. No, it's not a stage name. 24 years old, she left Kansas to follow the Yellow Brick Road.
Is that so?
We'll take a formal statement later. Right now, we're going to take a look around.
Phelps, you should take a look at the body. Poor guy didn't stand a chance.
Okay.
I ended on his face and ended up here. The car must have struck him from behind.
I start watching around the Rosa coming out here. They kind of perpetuate the propaganda, and then you do a nod to the fact that it's corrupt every once in a while. It's a weird juxtaposition. Yeah. Also, we can... If you want a fun bit of social analysis, look at the way in which we have treated sitcoms over the past 20 years, we'll say. Sitcoms are obviously stand for situational comedy. It's supposed to be something that a lot of us can relate to. It is something that is very relatable. And, you know, about 20, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, the main sitcoms were family focused. And it was all about family dynamics. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Full House, stuff like that. Then moving kind of into the 90s, early 2000s, we got things like Friends, How I Met Your Mother, and it's about groups of friends. But now, because we are a society who is mostly dominated by capitalism and by the need to work, sitcoms are like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Parks and Rec. I'm pretty sure all of these are made by the same guy, actually. The Office. Supermarket. It's all set in places of work. Because society has gradually shifted from the main values being of family to friends to work. Lester Patterson, 182 North Hope Street, Los Angeles, California. Dear Mr. Patterson, it is with great pleasure that we acknowledge the receipt of your application 14F, and pre-approval has been granted to raise the weekly premium of your life insurance policy from $3.70 per week to $5.90 per week. This raise became effective on January the 1st, 1947. Where our standard veteran care policy entitled you to a lump sum payout of $10,000 in the event of your untimely death or permanent incapacitation, this new plan secures your beneficiary a sum of $16,000. We at the California Fire and Life thank you and wish you good health and security for the future. Yours sincerely, Curtis Benson, Vice President, California Fire and Life Insurance. Okay, well, we have a possible motive. Let's
notify next of kin.
Yep. Nope. Just money. This is one of the first games to use proper stage acting, which has become a regular for Rockstar. It's why, and to be fair, in the game industry, it's why I don't feel comfortable calling people like the guy who played Arthur in Red Dead Redemption a voice actor, because they did full stage body capture as well. They didn't do voice acting for The Last of Us typically. It was basically a theater production.
From all reports, he was intoxicated at the time of the accident. I'll know how intoxicated once I've done the autopsy. Looking him over now, I'd say he died on impact.
What about the chest wound? Isn't that inconsistent?
The Golem method, yeah.
Very common in auto injuries. Look for a car with a prominent hood ornament. Those things are killers.
Coroner's report. You went pretty far.
Body traveled a good 20 feet.
It did make the bloopers for this game. Andy Serkis single-handed... Well, I wouldn't say Andy Serkis did all of it, obviously. A lot of it went to the techs in Industrial Light and Magic, who changed the industry.
This blood is a long way from the body. The car must have been going like a bat out of hell.
Hello, Azzy-Fen. Welcome to the stream.
So the driver managed to brake before the impact.
So we had the driver brake, hit the body here, blood splatter that way, and then landed here. Oh yeah, I'm not diminishing the work of Andy Serkis at all, but
I don't come down to the station house and tap dance on your desk.
I mean, you could. It'd be quite funny. But important mention has to go, of course, to the techs.
I'm Detective Phelps of the LAPD.
How can I help? Detective?
Name would be a good start.
Dudley Lynch. Hired help. I run the place when the owner ain't around.
Who is the owner?
Where is the owner?
He stepped out. Somebody had to take Lorna, Mrs. Patterson, home.
Do you know the victim?
Yeah. Lester Patterson. He's a regular here, or...
Okay, so...
Not one of your favorite customers?
Lester was special, but not my kind of special.
Was Lester drinking alone?
No. He came here with his wife. She didn't seem too interested in the booze, though.
What can you tell me about the accident?
Not a lot. It was busy in here, and all I heard was the impact.
So what was he doing outside? It's against licensing regulations to drink on the sidewalk.
Lester and Lorna were having a fight. The owner made him take it outside. It was pretty ugly.
Okay, so we know that Lorna was here and that Lester and Lorna were having a fight. Oh.
Courtney, come in. Have a seat.
Thanks, Doctor.
How are you finding working at the clinic?
It's, fine.
Are you sure?
Can I be honest with you, Doctor?
I would hope so, Courtney.
I was hoping that the therapy would be more beneficial.
Treatment can unfortunately be very long-term.
So many of the patients here are addicts, Doctor.
Many of them have been for years, Courtney. In the past, these people were condemned to sanatoriums. If we can reveal the root of the problem, then we have a chance to help them.
And until then, they stay sedated?
Very interesting and topical little movement there from Fontaine. Well, obviously this is set in the 1940s before the true dangers of smoking were known, but we can obviously look at it from a benefit of hindsight, the game having been made in 2010, that when Courtney is complaining about or commenting on the amount of people that they treat are addicts, Fontaine picks up a box of cigarettes before he starts his lecture. So that can kind of give us an indication, maybe, that Fontaine isn't as far away from his patients as he might like to think.
Do I detect a hint of reproach, Courtney?
I was expecting more, Doctor. I'm sorry. I don't mean to criticize.
Part of being a physician, Courtney, is learning to be patient.
How is it possible to keep so many of them on their medications, Doctor? Many of their addictions are illegal.
Oh, many things in life are gray, Courtney. What may on the surface appear to be illegal is actually of benefit to society at large.
Again, do you think he's a bad guy? Just realised I am not remotely in the centre of the screen, am I? There we go. Oh. There we go. Yes, this is the press X to doubt game. Oh, we got to do the ritual. So here's an interesting thing. This game is a black and white filter. Which you might notice doesn't really look that good. There's a reason for that. because we're going to get a bit of camera stuff here. When you shoot for cinema, you typically keep in mind that, like, deciding something's going to be black and white isn't something that is done at the end of the process, for example. Especially in the modern day, obviously. In the time period that this is set, wasn't an option. But you are very consciously aware that you are shooting in black and white the entire time. It's not like at the end of a project you decide, this looks a bit weird, I can't be bothered color grading it, let's just throw a black and white filter on there. Because typically it won't look good. You have to plan in advance, okay, this is going to be in black and white, and obviously back then at the time they knew it was going to be in black and white regardless. So your set design and your costume design were deliberately chosen, not necessarily to most accurately reflect the set, but to come across in the greatest way on a black and white camera. Famous example is the Addams family, the original Addams family. Their home is entirely pink because the pink contrasts well on a black and white television. The original Doctor Who TARDIS is this kind of very light blue. Again, it's not necessarily because light blue was the best colour, because it was very much described as a white TARDIS console and a white interior, but because the light blue came across well and contrasted with the dark colours on a black and white TV. So by just throwing a black and white filter on it, you don't really have that effect, because the game is very much designed with all of these colours in mind and these shadows in mind. And throwing a black and white filter on that means that a lot of the intended effects from both the original colorization but also what you could gain from being in black and white are lost. That's what we do here, Azzyfen. We talk about film and facts that people completely don't know. Like, focus on the bar. Focus on the bottom of the bar here, right? It's fairly flat in black and white, and so's Cole. Cole almost looks superimposed into his own world. But if we turn on or turn off black and white, you'll see the bar actually has a gradient effect where it gets more shadowed as it goes down it. And Cole looks much more like he is part of the world. And that's because black and white is a difficult time, obviously, telling where shadows are and what black is. Changing to color changed how makeup was done too. A lot of face shading had been done in green for black and white because it showed up better, but with color film you couldn't do that anymore. Yeah, exactly. But that's why you can't always just throw a black and white filter on something and assume it's going to be good. It's one of my few favorite things about my camera is that it has a black and white photography mode. Okay, again, I really want to know how this mirror's done because reflections are notoriously difficult to do in games. It's probably the same way as we discussed in Batman Arkham City, where there's just a camera node that is basically that's a window with a filter on it, and there's a camera node that's just shooting behind. Okay, it's actually a trick you're taught to use for digital artwork. Look at it in grayscale and see if it has enough tonal difference for it to pop, or if it ends in similar gray shades. Color grading's a great thing.
Help me out. Witness statements next. We know we've got the girl as an eyeball, but we should check the bar as well.
I would love to, but she's not talking to me. Ma'am? Finally.
Mary?
Yes?
I'm Detective Phelps. This is my partner, Detective Bukowski.
Eyewitness report.
Can you tell us what happened?
Well, I came to the window because I heard people arguing downstairs.
That matches up.
Then what happened?
I saw a car hit that poor man and knock him down the street.
Can you tell me about the argument?
Tell me more about the argument you heard.
Well, there were two voices. A man and a woman, that's all.
Go on.
Then a third person,
I got that wrong.
another man, got involved.
What kind of car was it?
A dark red Lincoln Continental.
Did you see the license plate?
Only the first three letters, I'm afraid. 3C8.
Thank you, Miss Berry. Your information has been very helpful. You can go now.
You really think so? I hope you find that driver and put him away.
You certainly got away with the dames, Phelps. Give it a rest, Bukowski. Let's see what the patrons have to say.
Alright.
Wrinkled was not one of the things I wanted to be when I grew up.
If olive oil comes from olives, where does baby oil come from?
Real happiness is when you marry a girl for love and you find out later she's got money.
Patrons are very
A
useful.
witness overheard an argument.
Lester and Lorna. There's nothing like airing your dirty laundry in public, is there?
Why was Lorna Patterson in such a hurry to leave? What is going on here?
Lorna was pretty upset, so Leroy took her home. Lorna and Leroy are close. They've been talking about opening a new bar.
Leroy?
Leroy Sabo, the owner.
Another possible motive. If you want to open a bar, knowing that your husband has a $16,000 life insurance policy would certainly be useful.
How long have Lorna and Leroy been talking about this new bar?
Who knows? I just served the drinks.
Bartenders hear all sorts of things. Are you going to tell me, or do we have to start playing rough?
When Lester was drinking, he treated Lorna like dirt. He gambled away all their money. Lorna pitched Leroy about the bar. I don't know how interested he is.
Is Leroy doing well?
Hell no. The only thing keeping this place afloat are the poker games.
Thanks for your help, Lynch. I'm going to need you to sign a statement with the patrolman.
Sure, no problem.
You get anything out of the regulars? They weren't giving too much away. They liked watching Lester and Lorna go a few rounds every other day. And Lester was a fan of the love tap. What do you think? You could use the phone in the back of the bar. Call
I'm trying to use the phone, Stefan.
Operator, give me R&I.
That's a really good mirror.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need to run a partial license plate, 3 Charles 8. Cross-check possible Lincoln owners. Suspect vehicle is a red Lincoln Continental.
Just a moment, Detective. Only one possible make on that license. Registered to a William Shelton.
William Shelton.
Temple Street.
Thank you. Looks like we caught a break on this one.
One hopes. Patterson, residential address of Lester Patterson. Well, actually, do we want to go there, or do we want to go to the Shelton residence first? Let's go to the Shelton residence. Also, yes, this is the Press X to Doubt game.
Partial ID. These cases are usually dead in the water after 24 hours if no one comes forward. Why don't they just stop? You heard about fight or flight during the war? Sure. Never back your enemy into a corner. That kind of stuff? Right. Well, in a hit and run, the perp is already in flight. It's easier to keep going. Takes a degree of moral courage to stop and accept responsibility.
You're not as dumb as you make yourself out to be, are you, Steve?
I didn't know I was making myself out.
Any in the vicinity, see the man on 211 just occurred. 3rd Neal Street. Stand by for further unit to handle code 3 identified.
I will say, I do like these cars. Oh, Tundra! I had a question for you. How the fuck do you read so many books so goddamn fast? I was curious to see how much funeral costs would have been in the 1940s to see how much 16k would be after death costs, and found a receipt set someone saved from the funeral home in 1944. How much was funeral costs?
This is 11K. Go ahead with the further.
11K, your 211 is at Angel's Flight, 3rd Neal Street. 11K, code 3.
The short answer from last month is 8 hours of plane time with no internet. That's fair.
Some tourists flashing too much cash.
Excuse me. I've been following Tundra's blog where they've been writing about the media they consumed. It's like fucking, it was like what, 6 books?
They're getting away.
What happened here, sir?
They had guns. Dirty louses took everything and then booked. They went that way. The stairs alongside the truck. $787.45 for casket and burial. You might want to look up what that is with inflation. Corey the Brave, welcome to the chat. It's going well.
LAPD.
Come in the duck.
I enjoy LA Noire. I've always found LA Noire one of the weird ones of Rockstar games. It's a game that really would have benefited from, I don't know. It's got this kind of weird middle ground where I think the open world actually harms it more than it helps it. It feels like it struggles to be either, you know?
You look like a rat with a gold tooth. LAPD.
It could really be the first example of the of what people now criticize Rockstar for. Actually, thinking about it, it kind of is. So Rockstar comes under a lot of criticism recently with their Rockstar games, a bit their GTA games, and I actually think it started here, where they have this, they make these massively expansive open worlds, and then they they have these massively expansive open worlds, but then their mission structures are all incredibly linear. So if you go back to the days of like Grand Theft Auto 3, you would get a mission being like, oh, go and steal the car from this guy. And you could do it in any way you wanted. You could show up and, you know, gun them all down. You could get a helicopter and steal it like that. You could get a tow truck and take it. Like a bunch of things. Nothing was incorrect as long as you got the car and took it to the place. But modern games are very much like, show up, drive there, kill everyone, take the car, kill them all in a gunfight on the way back, pay and spray the car so it gets repaired, and then park it. And it's like, this is... They want to have their feet in both in both ponds, effectively. They want a big, expansive open world, but they also want to tell a very linear, certain cinematic story.
That's the son of a bitch right there.
Not to say that this is at all a bad game, of course, because I think this is what just Rockstar published. I believe the company that was working on it before. And then basically they were about to go bankrupt and Rockstar kind of swooped in. Like, it's a very fun game, and again, the technology is lovely, but you can kind of see where the fault of later Rockstar products began.
Yes? It doesn't look good, Shelton. You packing your bags and making a run for it?
Dying
You
is
know
not
why we're
cheap.
here.
Yes. The accident.
We've got witnesses who can put this car at the scene, not to mention the physical damage. This is open and shut, Shelton.
I've already still caught the suitcase.
That coward thinks he can run from everything.
Apprehend William Shelton. We got a car chase, folks. Yeah, existing under capitalism is not a fun experience. My stepfather is very much like, just bury me in the garden next to the dog.
Enough games, Phelps. Take this guy out. No wonder he killed someone, driving like this.
Lay into his wheel arches. Come on.
Don't let that asshole get away.
All right, I give up.
How does a vehicular manslaughter rap sound, Shelton?
I hit him. I admit it. I just panicked, but it wasn't my fault.
What do you mean?
The guy jumped right out in front of me. He came out of nowhere. There's nothing I could do about it.
Why didn't you stop?
I've had accidents before.
That's it. We're done here. DA is gonna love you.
They weren't all my fault. I'm a surveyor. I need my license for my job. There were people around. A woman and a man were standing right next to him. I thought they could get him to a hospital. I'm telling you, it's not my fault.
The guy is dead, Shelton.
You can't be serious.
William Shelton, you're coming downtown. We need to talk about a manslaughter charge. Leave the coroner and the paperwork. Procedure can wait. We should probably go speak to the wife and let her know what's happening.
So the interesting thing is... Okay, so we know that... Someone clip that. The fucking scream! God, I need to get a Steam Deck so I can make a clips button.
Procedure can wait. We should probably go speak to the wife and let her know what's happening.
Become all heart at the prospect of paper.
Units also needs assistance. 540 West 9th Street and Uncle Sam's Army Supply. 540 West 9th Street. Unit can handle code 2 identify.
And now it's Tony who finally gets a glove and penny on his rib, and that means the trouble for both fighters.
I just realised we hadn't set a destination, so I had no idea where we were going. Thank you, Betty.
If you use the siren, maybe those metal things in front of you called cars will know you're in a
Double clip. Triple clip. Well, at least we have choices. That's definitely going on the socials. Excuse me, ma'am. You know, guys, you can just write exclamation mark clip in the chat to instantly clip it. Corey, thank you very much for the follow. I worked a lot of time on getting that bot right.
Yes? Hello?
Mrs. Patterson.
Is this about my husband?
We're investigating the incident, ma'am.
I see. Come in, won't you?
Well, she's very relaxed.
We wanted to give you the facts about the accident, ma'am.
I appreciate that, but I think I know most of them already, Detective. He was hit by a car, now he's dead. What more is there to tell?
Pardon me, but you don't appear to be too upset about it.
Lester and I met on a furlough in '44. We got married that weekend. People don't understand it now, but that happened a lot back then.
I see. So you probably did well to stick together this long.
What's that supposed to mean, mister?
Thank you, Georgie.
I think it's about time you left. I have someone here, and
Beg your pardon? You're gonna have to run that one by us again, sister.
It's okay, Lorna.
Hello, Leroy.
I'm Leroy Sabo.
Well, well. Nice to see you're comforting the grieving widow, Mr. Sabo.
All right, wise guy. Do you have any intelligent questions you would like me to answer?
You can confirm Mrs. Patterson's story.
Lester lost at cards. He was kind of hard to control when he lost his temper. He turned without looking and walked right out in front of the car. It wasn't good.
What's your relationship with Mrs. Patterson, Mr. Sabo?
We're friends. Good friends.
You expect me to believe that?
Look, I was filing for divorce. Mental cruelty. Lester could be a mean son of a bitch.
And Lester knew about that?
No, I hadn't told him.
Well, hasn't this worked out well for the two of you? I feel almost bad for busting in on this little rendezvous.
The bartender said that you and Leroy were planning to go into business together.
See you later, Georgie.
How you'll get the money to do that?
I have a little money saved away.
Lie.
You're being economical with the truth, Lorna.
You want to back that up, little man?
You increased the premium on Lester's life insurance. GI insurance policies have a $10,000 payout.
It was Leroy's idea. Lester lived on the edge. He was always getting into fights, crap games, pinochle, you name it. Turns out it was good advice.
It speaks to motive and premeditation, Lorna.
You're forgetting the hit and run, Detective.
Nature of the argument.
Arguing in the bar and on the sidewalk.
We were always arguing. So what?
Don't lie to me. Something was different this time.
You're clutching at straws.
Hmm.
You married? The arguments are never any different.
Fair. Messed that one up.
How did the car come to hit Lester?
He walks straight into the path of an oncoming car.
You expect me to believe that, Lorna? It's all very convenient.
Gambling for Lester was like the needle for a hophead. He was yelling at me. He was yelling at the whole world. I kind of felt sorry for the driver. Poor guy had no chance.
You and Mr. Sabo have an interesting day.
I'm sure we will, officer. Now, if you could both just leave.
We're leaving, ma'am. Sorry for your loss. I can see what a tough time you're having with all this. Come on, Phelps. Let's make ourselves scarce.
Nah, I'm gonna investigate your house.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
That is the most
Phelps, badge 1247.
answering machine, automated message woman I have ever heard in my
Messages
life.
for me?
Just one detective from the coroner. Message reads, Phelps, see me at Central Morgue immediately. Results of the Pattison autopsy.
Thanks for your help.
Interesting. Stefan, we have to go. Come on.
I'm out of here, Lorna. I got a business to run.
I wonder where he goes if we follow him. We're not going to, but I'd be curious to find out. It is kind of a shame we never got a sequel to LA Noire. It's LA Noire, Bully, and like Manhunt. You know, the ones, the Rockstar games that stand out from their regular, excuse me, their regular outcrop of GTA and now Red Dead games. But even Manhunt got a sequel. And there have been rumors of a Bully 2 coming for a while now. And I suppose LA Noire got the LA Noire VR files.
Any Central unit of 415, possible mental case. And 7th and Flower unit to handle code 3 identified.
This is car 11K. We'll handle the 415.
Well, this looks...
You're the one who's been sending cosmic rays into my room. I'll show you. Yes, sir. You're not going to control my thoughts anymore.
Calm down, sir.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Give it up, LAPD.
He went that way.
Damn lunatic.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run round.
Put your hands in the air.
Well, I was gonna make a joke about waving your hands like you just don't care, and then he did. Come back here.
Don't make me chase you.
Don't climb up that.
You don't understand. Someone has to stop the Venusians.
Ow. You knocked my hat off, you son of a bitch. The ragdoll physics in this game are something else.
Farewell, cruel world.
Well. Shit. Love the implication that after all that, Phelps went back and picked up his hat. Whee! I just want to have a look at the ragdoll physics. You can't jump off a building. What a game.
Don't push me.
Isn't he the cop they've been talking about on the radio?
That's me. Can shove people over in the street.
Keep walking, pal.
Bye, Stefan. I'll see you around. What happens if I just leave my partner?
Damn it.
Apparently nothing. Cole Phelps, the world's worst Uber driver. Apparently I'm going so fast the road can't render. No, I don't. Oh, I'm sorry. Do we want the stream to be an extra like 5 hours long while I obey traffic laws? Okay. Oh, hey, Stefan. Stefan just appeared sprinting down the road behind us.
Going to church doesn't make you any more Christian than standing in a garage makes you.
We can put the driver in front of a judge in less than a week.
You'd be making a big mistake.
Run that by me again?
The victim was dead before the car hit him. 2 puncture wounds to the right side of the thorax. Second puncture reached his heart.
You're kidding.
Huh.
Been doing this job 23 years, son. No one's ever laughed at one of my jokes.
He was stabbed to death?
Long, sharp knife, length of a bayonet.
So the hit and run was a cover-up?
I'd say he was stabbed twice at very close quarters. Both wounds thrusting upwards and then pushed in front of the car.
Easy, Tiger.
Clever, really. I almost missed it. But the trajectory of the wounds was all wrong if he was impaled by the hood ornament.
Cole actually.
Find the knife, detectives.
That's how you do foreshadowing. Cole points it out. The first time we looked at the body, was like the chest wound's wrong.
Yes, sir.
It all comes back to the crime scene. We need to hit Ray's one more time and trawl for evidence.
Whoa! Easy!
Oh, so I need to be right back. But now we can enjoy the new Be Right Back screen. Speaking of clips, this is not the Be Right Back screen. I do this every time. This is the ending of Shrek 2.
It is.
Where it just... Then you can leave me alone. You already owe me.
You already owe me.
You blink a few times in quick succession. Oh god, you think to yourself. She's that kind of person. You saw a lot of them in your old life. Another establishment asshole co-opting everything anti-establishment, blasting Fugazi while running lives via Excel spreadsheets. When I moved to the big city, when me, the small country boy, when me, the small country trans person, then you can leave me alone.
To me at the station.
See what I can do.
I'll owe you.
You already owe me.
You already owe me.
Maybe need to subscribe to my OnlyFans for that one. I am considering making an OnlyFans where I just make upload pictures of flan and call it OnlyFlans. Right, what the fuck am I doing? What happens? I mean, okay. This is the ending of Shrek 2.
It is.
Wait, just. Do I need anything in here?
Area.
Hey, Skye. Hey, Sam.
I'm a dirty girl.
Sam. Sam. You're not allowed to do the fucking shower task anymore.
Did I fucking die? I'm back. Did that loop the same clip twice?
So there was some truth to Sheldon's cock and bull story after all.
Didn't stop. But he did
Welcome back, and yeah, we got the Shrek 2 ending one. Yeah.
the grieving widow and her shoulder to cry on.
Now all we need
Yeah, that happened when I was testing it too. It's kind of annoying. I don't know how to stop that. Oh shit, Leroy might be going to cover up the evidence. He said he had work to do. But first we have to help that. What do you guys think of having the clips play on the BRB screen? I think it has to do with it picking by most views. I don't know exactly how it works, but something happens with Jix. Did it do like the Shrek 2 clip, then another clip, then the Shrek 2 clip again? Yeah, it does that. It will do like first clip, repeat clip. Oh, first clip, new clip, repeat clip, new clip, new clip, new clip. It's not a huge deal. Also, I like that they included the landmark thing, because this is a very, to my knowledge, this is a screen accurate Los Angeles. So they put in landmarks to kind of be like, look how cool this technology is. Army surplus.
I don't know what you're talking about. We weren't doing nothing.
I've seen you little sons of bitches prowling around my store. I'll show you. I'll teach you not to.
Sir, drop the weapon.
You've been drinking, sir. You don't really want to.
3 times I've been robbed. Ain't nothing gets done about it.
Shit.
Look out, more of them. Put them down.
My hat!
Reinforcements are on the way. Cease and desist.
Shot in the butt.
Enough games, fellas.
Gun went mental at the end there. Shot him right in the booty.
11 King calling KGPL. I've been involved in a shooting. Suspects are...
Roger, 11K. All units be advised, suspects are down at 540 West 9th Street. Shooting at Uncle Sam's Army surplus is code 4.
Whoop! Yeah, like, we were discussing this with Hello Lovely Scientist last week during the streams. This is slightly before her time, but it's a very well done rendition of Los Angeles. Whoop. Please stop turning into me. Well, these are very pretty buildings. I'm not always the biggest fan of American architecture or city layout, but some stuff in the city designs was quite nice. I don't know what it is. I guess I like the uniformity of grid patterns. Hello, Leroy.
Lester could be a heel,
We just wanted
but
to check the crime scene over one
that's
more
a lousy
time,
way
Mr.
for anyone
Sabo,
to go out.
if that's all right.
Can you be quick about it? Cops are bad for business.
Really? We'll tiptoe, Sabo. You won't even notice us. All right, step by step, check every inch of ground.
Well, if I were to hide a murder weapon, I'd do it back here.
So this is why everybody comes to Ray's.
What about in here? I think that's just the back door. No. What about the bin? Nope.
I'm sure Carruthers will confirm this as the murder weapon. Let's talk to Leroy. See him explain.
Interesting, Tundra. Well, now you've just confessed to what you would do on a public live stream, so... Actually, speaking of public live streams, I wanted to talk about something real quick. I want to talk about the thing going on with Atric. For those of you who don't know, is it Atrioc? Atrioc, yeah. So, popular Twitch streamer Atrioc was live recently, where he accidentally showed his browser and revealed that he is an avid watcher of deepfake pornography of his fellow streamers and friends. Which is fucking weird and disgusting. And he claimed to, that, like, oh, it was just, I went down a rabbit hole and just kind of, one thing led to another. Bullshit! Because apparently the site was a paid access site. So, yeah. That's fucking disgusting. And it's a reminder that for women, just being online sucks. So, I just want to take a wee moment to say, specifically, fuck that guy, fuck his weird apology, and fuck all the people who are like, oh, well, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's just, it's not real, so it doesn't matter. Fuck them. Skye, why did you stop in the middle of the stream to go on a rant about a much bigger streamer? Because they're a piece of shit. And it's my stream and I can do what I want.
Leroy Sabo, you're under arrest for the murder of Lester Patterson.
Not gonna happen, fellas. Go! I'll bring the car around and head him off.
0 to 100, huh, Leroy?
It's too late, Sabo.
Stop or I will shoot.
I kind of hate that you can only do this for certain crimes. Like, you should be able to do it for the random shooters as well.
So, I give you a hit and run, you bring me back fraud, conspiracy, and first-degree murder. This is how a good detective operates, Phelps. You take nothing at face value. You keep digging and asking questions until you get to the truth. You got some sharp elbows on you, detective. I like that. Keep up the good work.
Why doesn't Peter get any of the credit? I mean, I get we're the main character. Assembling a brief of evidence sooner might have netted you Lorna as well as Leroy. Shit. I do like how the game always has tips being like, this is how you could have done better.
Phelps, Bukowski. B-Cop says he located a green Kaiser Fraser from the hot sheet. Address is 6 West 2nd Street. Get over there, see what you can find out. Go on. Sorry to inconvenience you.
We're on it, Captain.
Stolen vehicle.
I swear the more bent cars we bring in, the longer the hot sheet gets.
It pays the rent, though. Keeps Mrs. Phelps in the manner to which she's accustomed.
I'm not sure she'd agree with you.
Passionate, romantic type like you, Cole? I don't believe a word of it.
I do like to gradually see the the implied increase of relationship between Phelps and Bukowski. In the last episode, we talked about how when Bukowski asks Phelps to tell him about himself, Phelps goes, "Oh, I was in the war, and then I got discharged, and then I became a cop." And it was like a CV. It was giving a cover letter for a job. Whereas obviously, as time's gone on, Phelps has been like, "I'm married. This is my life." You know, they kind of know each other a bit more now. It's a good way to show a developing relationship happening off screen, is to show the start of it and then show it later down the line with some significant changes, like Phelps talking about how he's married, and you know, the more stuff we bring in, the more, you know, the longer the sheet gets. It implies that time has been passing and there have been cases that we haven't necessarily been privy to, which is a unique choice for a video game, actually.
Guy gave his wife a tap. I said, "All's fair."
The idea that stuff's going on that we don't play is quite an interesting choice.
Need a drink. I got the jitters again.
Assassin's Creed did that to some extent too. Assassin's Creed 2 was always an interesting game because it suffered from a bit of a juxtaposition error, where
Calling her the Dahlia now. Wonder what Veronica Lake makes of that one.
like
You hear whether they're making any progress?
Captain Donnelly seems to think they have it all wrapped up.
yeah, like Assassin's Creed 2 takes place over a lot of Ezio's formative years. Like he starts as a teenager and it's about him growing into a young man. But because it'll be like 17 or whatever years the game is a set place, you know, you'll play a level in 2019 and then it'll cut, you know, once you complete that level, it'll cut to 2023 and like 5 years have passed. But for the player, it's only been a 30-second loading screen. So it's kind of hard to weigh the impact of a man growing older and becoming more experienced by skipping so much time. Obviously, the only other way to do that, though, is to have the game take 5 years to play, which would suck.
Brown and Green are sweating this Manley character. I heard it'll be in front of a grand jury by next week.
Poor thing. Terrible enough to be murdered like that without having to be dead. Strewn all over the front page.
Also, they're talking about a case that we have no context for. Someone got murdered, apparently. And it's like a big public news, but because we aren't part of that world, we don't really know what it is. If you want a good cop show that I've been watching recently, Betty introduced me to Baptiste on Netflix.
Healthy enough to answer questions.
Get it while you can still password share.
1247, Detective Phelps, requesting immediate backup in pursuit of a stolen green Kaiser Fraser from 6 West 2nd Street.
They are. I honestly think they're going to backtrack. I think we're going to see a wee Wizards of the Coast scenario where they try to roll this out, it fails, and they backtrack.
Enough games, Phelps. Take this guy out.
It's not quite enough yet to make me cancel my Netflix subscription, but it's getting close.
Bracelets on him, Phelps. I'll call it in.
Car 11K to KGPL. Suspect in custody requires transport back to Central Station. Requesting a patrol unit.
Roger on that 11K. Hands behind your head.
Why did you run from us?
I saw a big car in my rearview mirror with two tough guys bearing down on me. What would you do?
What's your name?
You didn't hear the fucking sirens, Cliff?
For what? What are you talking about?
Nice try. I'm talking about the car being stolen.
You're out of your mind. I bought the car, and I've got the paperwork to prove it.
Coombs,
Looks like we'll have some questions for the people at Coombs Automotive.
Do.
You purchased this car from Coombs Automotive Company?
Yeah, that's right.
And the ownership papers?
From the same place.
If this is a forgery, it's top-notch. This will need to be traced. Who did you deal with at Coombs Automotive?
The owner, Richard Coombs.
And he made out the bill of sale personally?
Of course he did. He kept a facsimile for his records. Check with him.
You have a criminal record, Mr. Harrison?
No, nothing like that.
You expect us to believe you?
Is that so much to ask?
We're going to get to the bottom of
Well,
it.
I should have doubted that.
You're going downtown.
You gotta be kidding me. I'm getting arrested for buying a goddamn car?
If everything is legit, Harrison, you'll be out soon. Until then, if I were you, I'd keep my mouth shut.
Bag his possessions as evidence and have him arraigned for Grand Theft Auto.
Right, Detective.
Do you know who my father is?
We need to get to Coombs Auto and check out Harrison's story.
No, I have no idea who your father is.
You know what? I think he's telling the truth.
Some of the most convincing people you will ever listen to are born liars. Usually they're called politicians.
Yeah. Except the modern politicians aren't very good liars.
Paperwork all looked above board, and he seemed like a clean-cut kid.
Well, I get it. You see some kid who's basically you 5 years ago and assume he's got to be innocent.
I'm more than happy to be proved wrong.
Hey, if he'd been black or Hispanic... Oh, unbelievable. Hey, if he'd been black or Hispanic, you'd be singing a different tune. You spout all this communist crap about treating everybody the same, but it only works one way.
I'm not sure that's communism.
Oh, God, please. Not another history lesson from the man who single-handedly won the war.
Are you finished?
Yes. I feel much better. We'll shake down the car dealer and take it from there. Unless his daddy plays golf with yours, of course. In which case, we'll give him a firm gentleman's handshake and be on our way.
See? I knew you weren't finished.
Take it easy.
So again, this has nothing to do with films, but his comment about politicians got me thinking. There is an actual reason which... Well, there's two reasons why politicians are so much more blazingly false with their narratives nowadays. And it's reason one, they've created a political elite, and they're from the perspective that they're untouchable. That they are untouchable. And two, the major issue with democracy is that democracy creates not only a political elite, but an intellectual elite, which means that the general populace thinks we don't really have to solve problems like climate change or the rise of fascism or the healthcare issue. We don't have to solve that because that guy says he has a solution for it, as long as we say that we want that guy. So it means that people stop thinking about more complex socioeconomic issues and more just start thinking about, as long as someone else can handle it and fix it, we don't have to do it anymore. It's been very interesting to live in Britain and watch that. There's a famous Michael Gove quote about Brexit where he says, people are tired of listening to experts from organizations that have a bunch of letters and an acronym. And he's not wrong. It's more like we don't have any experts because now even the political elite are suffering from the intellectual elitism, where even they don't think they really have to think about the issues anymore because they'll have advisors to tell them. That's kind of why politicians are more just... That's why politics has become more of a circus, basically, in the past 10 to 10 years. And the election of, obviously, Donald Trump and Boris Johnson and similar people who run some public chicanery of general tomfoolery and buffoonery has further shown it's like, well, if they can be elected to office, why are we even trying anymore? We'll just act like lovable goofs and idiots and the funny men on the TV, and that'll get elected. Politics is a popularity contest. That's all it is. And right now, being popular means not having any answers or solutions, or even pretending to have any answers or solutions. It's to just shout rhetoric. Political Science with Skye Blacke.
Goddamn menace! You're really starting to annoy me.
The solution to that, of course, is to educate yourself on actual issues, and when possible, work with organizations either through volunteering or charitable support or whatever that promote actual solutions to it. Don't
Another step. I have got a Buick Century sedan that would be absolutely perfect for you.
basically don't just vote Democrat or vote Labour or SNP every couple of years and assume that that's the job done.
Detective Phelps, LAPD, are you the owner?
That's right. Richard Coombs at your service. You looking to trade in a black and white, boys?
Mr. Coombs, we're investigating an auto theft. A man by the name of Cliff Harrison claims he bought the car here.
Well, some people would say that my cars are a steal. That's a joke, son.
Very amusing, Mr. Coombs.
I remember Harrison. It was a green two-tone Kaiser Frazer, if I remember rightly.
Do you have the bill of sale?
It's in my office. Walk this way. That's a joke too, son.
Phelps, you mind if I shoot this guy? He's getting on my nerves.
I do like the walk this way joke, I'm not gonna lie. Why does Stefan never get the seat?
Got the original pink slip there too.
Gene Archer, 146 North Fremont Avenue.
So, we're thinking that Gene Archer might have owned the car originally and it was stolen from him?
Harrison's purchase receipt was legit, at least. We have a couple of questions.
All right, fellas. Shoot.
Can you describe this Gene Archer?
Brunette, maybe 25, 26. A little on the plump side, but not bone ugly.
What was your impression of her?
Kind of harried and harassed. In a hurry to go somewhere, but no place to go. You get to know the type.
Can you tell us how you came to buy the car?
Girl just wandered in right off the street.
Nothing unusual about the car.
Not really my usual type of vehicle. The price was certainly right, though. Nice girl, but about as sharp as a bag of wet mice.
Did you pay with check or cash?
A check. She wanted it made out to cash, but I insisted. Man has to watch his cash flow.
What name?
I made it out to Gene Archer on the Bank of Arcadia.
When exactly did you hand over the check, Mr. Combs?
Close of play on Friday.
Why didn't you pay her cash? You knew the car was dirty.
I had an inkling. When people are in a hurry for money, always pay by check, son. Gives you a couple days to back out.
That's actually not horrible advice.
This was all above board.
Yes, of course it was.
Did this look legitimate to you, Coombs?
I'm in used cars, son, not bearer bonds. In my business, you don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Now don't come on all high and mighty with me if you want my help.
Do you know anything about the company that prints these pink slips?
Nope. Should I? It isn't exactly my business.
It says Marquee Printing. You've never heard of them?
Marquee. Sure. They do all the government red tape. You'll find the place down on Aliso Street near San Pedro.
It's actually been very helpful.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Coombs. We need to continue the investigation.
Hope you sort out your problem with Mr. Harrison. Go easy on him, son. Boy's about as sharp as a bowling ball. He's built too low. The fastballs fly over his head.
Let me shoot this guy, please. You have a pleasant day, Mr. Coombs.
He was actually not all that bad.
Well, Harrison might be off the hook, but we can still run an APB on Gene Archer. Get on the horn and call it in.
What would be another good time period for an LA Noire sequel? Or prequel.
How can I help, Detective?
Requesting an APB on Gene Archer, age approximately 25, on suspicion of Grand Theft Auto.
I'll relay the information.
Any messages?
A James Velasco is being held at Central Station on suspicion of GTA. Possible link to the Harrison case. They're waiting on you to conduct the interview.
Thanks.
Or maybe a different city would be interesting. The Noire franchise.
Here's a chicken and egg question for you. Do you think you have to be an asshole to sell cars? Or that selling cars turns you into an asshole?
You've got it in for everyone today, haven't you?
I've always got it in for car sales. Doesn't matter what day it is. And why do they always think they're comedians when they're about as funny as a heart attack?
Maybe the more annoying they are, the quicker you sign on the dotted line, just to get the hell out of there.
Again, that's a reasonably good theory. If you've gone to a car salesman, you've gone for a specific reason. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, we were supposed to be obeying the traffic laws. Fuck you, Nixon. Let's see who commits to the bit longer, me or you, chat. That's fair. This guy's not really singing, he's more just saying words over music. Technically, it's beat poetry. Blaze it! Well, I'm glad we're all listening to the same radio station so that we can just pick up with the same song from inside.
Come on,
bug
Cole,
someone else,
leave him
huh?
alone.
And what can I do for you, gentlemen?
I'm a traffic detective from Central Division. Who's in charge here?
I am, Gordon Lightfall. What's this about?
We understand that your company prints California vehicle titles.
Yes, I have the government contract to print pink slips. I've done for some years.
Have you had any goods or equipment stolen recently? We're running up against stolen cars with seemingly legitimate paperwork.
Not recently. Have you ruled out forgery? There's no shortage of talented artists in this town.
We'll keep it in mind.
Well, I trust you've got all that you need.
So what next?
We could always try the address Archer gave. Maybe she's dumb enough to be sitting at home waiting for us.
Well, that was a dead end. If you really wanted to do political commentary, you could do an LA Noire game set in the 90s. Okay, I'm done with the bit. Of course, Rockstar have already done LA in the 90s in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, where they have their own kind of commentary on the LA riots. Or the LA protests, I guess, depending on your perspective. Oh, I love the ink spots. I actually legitimately enjoy this song. I'm gonna get copyright struck. I want more games set in the 20s or the 30s. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a big socio-political issue that goes on in the 20s and 30s that makes it quite hard for a lot of games to be set then.
Empty. Should have known that Archer broad would have given us a false address.
We should go to the station, see what this Velasco guy has to say.
Let's head back to the printing company real quick, because I don't know, just the fact that we can is interesting. What's this architecture style called for this era of America? I want to say it's neo-Gothic, but I don't think it is. It's like a weird halfway point between brutalism and neo-Gothicism. That was really well parked.
I'm stumped.
Sounds
Ideas?
like James Belasco was picked up the same in Paris. Let's get down to Central and hear his excuse.
I think we have to come back here after talking to James Belasco. Do you know what, Bukowski? I'll let you drive.
You can drive.
All right. Where to?
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Ugh. That was me. The sound of me struggling to cross my legs. I went to a concert last night for Florence and the Machine. It was much more of a concert than just a gig. Postmodernism. Yeah.
Detectives, Belasco is prepped and ready in 2. Another stolen
Lawrence
car.
Welch.
Thanks.
My beloved.
Yeah, I'm thinking of moving up to a 45. I want to put him down in 1 round.
Crummy bastard.
What did you fucking say to me?
I want a lawyer. It's my car and I got the proof right here. Take a look for yourself.
I knew it wasn't safe.
The paper is real enough, Belasco, but the car isn't yours. This pink slip is a forgery.
Marquis again.
Say, could I borrow some of that mascara?
Does the name Jean Archer mean anything to you?
Nope. Never heard of her.
You want my partner here to convince you that you do know her?
I'm giving you the straight dope. I don't know no Jean Archer.
Where were you taking the car, James?
Blow it off, greenhorn. You'll get nothing from me.
You're a two-time loser. If you don't give me something, I'm gonna ask the DA for the maximum. You're looking at 10 years, Belasco. Kiss your youth goodbye.
I want a deal.
Keep talking and we'll see what sort of deal you're worth.
My job is to drive the cars out of state. Nevada, Arizona.
Both the questioning guys have blue ink signatures on the top of their paperwork. The one at the dealership had black. That may just be a carbon copy ink, though. Probably is carbon copy ink.
What happens to the cars once they cross over the state lines?
I don't know. I just deliver them.
Give me something, Belasco, or I'll take you back to the cells and tell the whole station you're a child molester. How long?
Fucking Christ!
Okay, okay. I hear you. The cars get sold in Chicago or back east. Sometimes I bring.
I don't
cars
like
coming the other
Phelps.
way.
Phelps is kind of a piece of shit.
Where do you pick up the cars, Belasco?
Warehouses. Mainly in East downtown.
An address, Belasco. You want my help with the DA? Cough it up, now.
A place on Industrial Street. I don't know the number. You're gonna help me out, right?
Keep talking, kid, and we'll see what we can do.
All right, James. We're gonna check if this information is worth anything.
And if it is, I need your help here, pal.
If it is, then we'll know you're a man of your word, and so will the DA.
So we exit.
You're Phelps, right?
Yes, I am. Look, can we do this later? I'm in the middle of it.
Ray Pinker. I'm with Technical Services. The pink slips are all real.
Yes, we know that.
There's only one company that prints them in California, the Marquee Printing Company. They've confirmed that the numbers are legitimate.
You've checked them out?
Sure. They're on Aliso Street, near the corner of San Pedro.
We've
Guy I
been.
spoke to was Lightfall. Gordon Lightfall. Here, I wrote it down.
Thanks, Ray. This is a great lead. We'll get down there as soon as we can.
Ray, it's a fucking awful lead. We've already been there.
I want to make comments.
Phelps, your GTA suspect, Gene Archer, spotted by a patrolman. Western Union office, 253 South Hill. Less than a minute away down the street if you run. Go! She won't hang around.
Come on! Don't want to lose her!
Come on, Steven.
It'll only take a little while longer, madam. It's quite a lot of money.
LAPD. We'll take it from here.
God damn it. Everyone's against me. Look, just let me get my money and get out of here, okay? You look sweet. How about giving a girl a break? I could be very nice.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Miss Archer. Stefan, call for black and white.
Just my luck to get the only hair sure cop in the LAPD.
The car you sold to Coombs was stolen, Miss Archer. There won't be any money.
I handed over all the right paperwork when I sold it, Buster.
Calm down, Gene. Just tell me why you sold the car.
You're sweet. You really are. But just get the fuck out of my way.
How long have you and Belasco been delivering cars?
Who is James Belasco?
He's your boyfriend. He's the guy you boost cars with. He gave you up. He thinks you're so dumb you'd steal a free sample.
So I'm no genius. I make the best with what I've got. Why are you so cruel?
You decided to make this hard on yourself, Gene. Let's see how you handle the hard
I
time.
fucked up those questions. I've hit doubt because he just said Belasco, not James Belasco. Welcome back, Georgie. But, like, she's clearly involved, so... If you were trying to cash a check you know is dodgy, don't do it next to the police station. Beep beep. Like, there's hiding in...
Getting her own way.
There's hiding in plain sight, but...
Were useless against the impenetrable Cole Phelps.
She's not my type.
And what is your type, Phelps?
I'm married.
My wife.
That? But you're not blind or dead inside. Open your eyes! I know that. But you're not blind or dead inside, are you? Wait. Scrap. Careful!
Apparently I am a bit blind. That was his fault.
Blondes, I guess.
Hallelujah! The man is human after all. Now we're getting somewhere. Yep, I'm with you on the blondes. Brunettes are fine too. And there's nothing wrong with a good redhead. But I draw the line at bread. You know what? I might have to lift that embargo soon in the interest of maintaining a free market.
A man with high standards.
The standards are only as high as the last glass of whiskey.
Hello.
We have some questions for you, Mr. Lightball. Do the names Cliff Harrison and James Belasco mean anything to you?
No, they do not.
Just use a bit of intuition.
Harrison bought his car from Coombs. The pink slip looks good, and that points the finger here. Do you have any employee trouble?
No, I don't. They've all been carefully screened. Look, now that I think about it, the name Coombs sounds familiar. I think they may have been involved in stolen documents in
Stop judging me, chat. I'm trying to be entertaining and educational. I'm doing edutainment.
Do you have a delivery ledger, Mr. Lightfall? We would like to cross-check against the Coombs Automotive Emporium.
It's a little out of the ordinary, Detective. I'm not sure I can share those sorts of records.
Hi, Orchid.
Hand it over, Lightball. You don't want us having bad thoughts about you, do you?
Very well, but this really is irregular. Over here.
Marquee printing.
Patterns, recurring names, unusual addresses, anything out of the ordinary.
Hmm.
You certainly encourage repeat business, Lightball. This Mr. Bigelow is a good customer.
Mr. Bigelow.
Mr. Lightball, we're currently working...
That's an unfortunate name.
Do you know anything about a car theft ring?
Certainly not. Why would I get mixed up in a thing like that?
I'm not accusing you of being involved, Mr. Lightball. I just wondered whether you had heard anything.
Yes, I see. We have had attempts to break in here before. A lot of the government forms here have...
Hi, Protector.
Criminals.
Sorry to bother you, sir. We'll let you know if there are any developments.
I'm a really bad detective. Batman, I am not. '58 Industrial Street. Let's go. It's been nice to see chat so active today, guys. Thank you all for dropping by. If you're enjoying the content, remember to give a follow if you aren't already. Whee! Whoop! I love those little metal support things. Whenever I'm traveling back from where I grew up, my parents, it's always nice to see those outside of Glasgow. To be like, oh yeah, I'm almost home. I don't know, they just give me a little bit of nostalgia now. '58 Industrial Street, 4:40 p.m. Can't believe we arrived here right on the hour.
I thought you Marines were gung-ho, Cole. You have a 45, don't you ever want to use it? I'll take the back. Just give me a few seconds to get around there.
Shame there's a no smoking sign because we are about to arrest these criminals in a calm and moral and legal method. What are those big tanks used for? No idea!
All of you are coming downtown with me.
Probably water. Or gas. No, our water comes from, like, our water is not stored in water tanks, typically. We have central plumbing. Our water just comes from the taps. Listen, despite being on the same longitude, I'm learning Alaska and Scotland are very different.
Let's clear the top floor. I don't want to get drilled in the back on the way out.
Scottish water, by the way, is amazing. Best water in the world.
Try the door at the end. I heard something.
All right, don't shoot.
Keep your hands up. Watch him, Bukowski. He doesn't move until I talk to him.
Scottish water. Marquee Printing Co.
There are enough slips here to keep them stealing cars till Christmas.
And it's only January. Is there nothing else I can look at? Oh, stuff I can look at.
Marquee Printing Company. There's nothing like going direct to the source.
Bye, Tundra. Well, we do have very clear water locks.
Looks like Mr. Lightfall has been on a losing streak.
Thank you for dropping by, Tundra. Always lovely to see you.
We've got a trail of pink slips and stolen cars that leads right to your door, Bigelow. You're in this up to your neck, but I don't think you're the man in charge. Make it easier on yourself. Give him up.
I do work on cars for customers. You charge in here shooting up the place like it's the Ballad of Bulge. I can't give you anything.
We know about marquee printing. You can make this easier on yourself by giving us your man on the inside.
I sometimes repair cars and put them back on the road. I need a pink slip to resell them. There's no problem there.
Don't lie to me. I'm not in the mood for any more lies.
The slips are the real deal, and I order them from Marquee.
Yes, but...
I want a mouthpiece. The organization employs a very good one. Does a great job of keeping Mickey C out on the streets.
Whether you give up your bosses or not, Bigelow, you're going away for as long as I can put you there.
Shit.
We'll see. I didn't fire a shot, copper. I just watched you tear my place up.
Fuck that up. Fuck that up, something fierce. You guys might have noticed I've done a few updates to the stream where, like, the new BRB screen, there's new Nightbot messages. I do hope you enjoy them. Alright, back to marquee printing. If we can get him to turn on us,
What a mess.
then...
Gonna take some cleaning up, that's for sure.
I wish it hadn't gone that way.
Well, they shouldn't bring guns to work with them. We didn't have a lot of choice.
You have to admire the barefaced cheek.
Thanks, Georgie.
Tries to blow your
I
brains
love
out
the
one
new
minute,
layout.
leaves innocence the next.
Yeah,
I
especially
love
when
having the
you're
camera up
surrounded by
here
evidence.
now.
But guys like Bigelow spend so much time convincing themselves that they're not doing anything wrong.
I never
They actually start to
was a huge
believe
fan of
they're
having the
bullshit.
camera above me, but it's looking a lot better than I thought it was going to.
Complacency or greed. It's always one of the two that brings them down.
And the new music on the just chatting and BRB screens. Trying to go with something a bit less lofi beats to study for, and a bit more Skye Blacke. Skye Blacke, cool goth who entertains and educates. Rebranding. Whoa!
People might move out of the way quicker if you use the siren.
Yes, Stefan? That good advice, buddy? You all smart and clever? Maybe I don't want to use the siren. Maybe it throws off my... Whoa!
Try making it to the next intersection without killing anybody. Can you do that for me?
Boing. Someone clip that, and when they do, Betty, if you're still watching, please add a boing sound effect when we upload it to socials. Betty does the some of the social media editing for me, so any clips you see that are subtitled is mostly, almost definitely from Betty. Everyone should applaud their fantastic work, because they've really learnt the program quite quickly.
You again? This harassment is starting to wear thin.
We found a box of pink slips in a warehouse full of hot cars. You signed for them, Lightball.
I signed for all the orders and deliveries. You'll need something better than that, cowboy.
Lie! Lie! I know! I can do this one!
Save it, Lightball. We already have all we need to send you down.
I've had enough of this. You either produce some shred of proof, or I call my attorney.
Betting slips.
You're in the hole with the organization. We know about the debts, Lightball.
I agree, I have a small problem. I'm prepared to help you in any way I can, Detective. I'll name names. I need you to keep this out of the paper.
You need to shut up now, Lightball. Gordon Lightball, I'm charging you with conspiracy and fraud. Hands behind your back.
The LAPD Central Traffic Division has today smashed a nation.
Immediately it's in the papers.
Writes crime correspondent, blah, blah, blah. Oh, here it is. Traffic squad detectives confronted a large group of armed thugs. After an exchange of gunfire, more than a dozen dead criminals were removed from the scene. The LAPD sustained no casualties. Damn fine work, Phelps. Now get out there and nail some more bad guys, will you? I want to finish reading this.
Okay, we're starting to notice, like, Bukowski is deliberately noticing that he is not getting attention for doing well on this. I wonder if it's because he's Polish. I wonder if this is a very subtle commentary on Eastern European immigrants post-World War II. I wonder if what we saw as an oversight is actually a very intentional piece of game design.
My family runs a shipping business in San Francisco. We used to have 2 ships a week to Tokyo. We've been in shipping for 2 generations, Hank. I've never been on a voyage anywhere. I feel like Odysseus in the beginning of his journey.
The Odyssey took 10 years, Cole.
This is the American century. America can rule the world after we win this war.
We need to stay alive, Cole. These men are counting on us. Have you heard what the veterans are saying to each other?
No.
Golden Gate in 48. That's 4 more hard years of fighting.
It's a very deliberate design choice to have this be post-war. Not only is it, an interesting time period, but we really get to examine the effects that war has on individuals. Specifically, Courtney Sheldon through the side story, and Cole, obviously through the main character.
Phelps, Bukowski, you have a new case. 2 women, possible drink drive.
How was that a case?
The broad says she was doped and that somebody tried to kill her.
Where did this take place?
That's the bit you're gonna love. Right across the street.
What?
A Chevy Styline took a nosedive off the escarpment, fetched up underneath a Cola King billboard. Up to it, boys. We got bad guys to catch.
So I think I might have mentioned
The bum took a swipe at me.
the case.
See you later, fellas. Try not to work too hard. Look at you, bouncing the floor. Tear to my eye watching my caterpillar grow wings. I'm just trying to fit in.
So I think I mentioned earlier that the Delilah case. I actually think that's a glitch. I think that mission was supposed to come after this one. So while it still looks as though it kind of shows that there are cases and stuff going on that we aren't privy to, and the fact that there is genuinely cases going on that we aren't privy to, it was not quite meant the way it was meant. But sometimes accidental design is just as interesting as intentional storytelling. If not more so. We were watching an episode of Doctor Who the other day, Daleks in Manhattan, and it has a fascinating piece of... I'm just going to drive around a wee bit while I talk. It has a fascinating piece of... It creates a continuity error in an attempt to avoid a continuity error. So, during one scene... Yes, pigs in New York. So during one scene, a character is seen putting his gloves on, specifically. Like, they make attention that he is putting his gloves on. This is because when later he is, not to spoil the episode for anyone who hasn't seen it, but later he is seen again and he has become some kind of monster. But they were concerned that they didn't have the prosthetic hands. Apparently the prosthetic, they couldn't find the prosthetic hands. They thought they never arrived for his costume. So they were like, okay, on shooting, they were like, okay, we'll just have him wear gloves. And we'll put, a scene of him putting the gloves on so that we specifically show that. And then they found the prosthetic hand. So it creates a continuity error because he's seen putting gloves on, but the next time we see him, he doesn't have, he has the prosthetic monster hands. And there is no time in between those scenes in order to try and take those gloves off. So it was very much like they created a continuity error in an attempt to avoid a continuity error.
Look out!
Stop, just... Her face looks familiar.
Well, that's June Ballard, Tarzan's sister, Beast of the Amazon.
She's married to Guy McAfee. The captain has moved to Vegas now, but the two of them still have juice. Phelps, traffic.
Detective Phelps. Hey, Bukowski. Long time no see.
You could have called this in by megaphone, Enrique. Phelps, this is Enrique Gonzalez. Enrique was a pretty decent middleweight.
What do we have, Gonzalez?
Broad drives right through the empty lot and off the side of the escarpment. Her story is that a movie producer doped her and her friend and sent the car over the cliff.
Was anyone hurt?
Driver's beat up. Not too bad considering. If she hadn't hit that billboard, we'd be scraping both of them off the pavement. Passenger's a Jessica Hamilton. She's just a kid. She's pretty knocked around.
Kid gonna be all right?
I think so. They've taken her to central receiving. If you want to take a look around, stall the ambulance.
Thanks. Do that.
One more thing. Watch out for the driver. She cuts rough.
Hey, out of the way, bub.
I have a question.
If you're looking for the coroner, he's down by the crash site.
Does Phelps have a racism problem? Come on, just slide down it, Phelps. Phelps is the sort of racist that thinks he's not racist. Yeah, no, that's kind of accurate. Because we've had multiple references now of him using the racial prejudices of the time in order to gain an advantage in an interrogation. And you could just say that's, you know, a cop trying to get the answer any way possible. But he was very, like, blunt and dismissive of Enrique. And we had Stefan mentioning earlier that if the kid had been black or Hispanic, then Phelps would have probably treated them, wouldn't immediately be like, yeah, he's probably innocent. That's a lady's underwear.
They've been torn off. Where did you find them?
They're stuffed in the young lady's handbag. I'll run a trace for semen when I get back to the lab.
Just put those back. Dear Jesse, please, dear, come home. If you're worried about your father, don't be. All is forgiven. He has a hot temper and he can be very proud, but you're still his little girl and he loves you. I know he didn't mean those things he said. You're a good, decent girl, dear, and you're not made for Hollywood. I was 15 once myself, and I wanted to be just like Clara Bow, and wear lovely dresses and kiss handsome men, but once I grew up and married your father, I realized I would have never been happy in that life. You realize it one day too. I'm sure Aunt Junie's looking after you, but I can't help worrying. You know what your old mother's like. The world is a very dangerous place for young girls, especially ones with stars in their eyes. Stars are nice to look at, but sometimes they can blind you to what's right in front of your nose. Emma and Molly miss you awfully. Emma's getting so pretty now, and little Molly is as bright as a button, just like you were at her age. They need their big sisters to look out for them. Dear, dear Jessie, please come back. I'm frightened for you. I can't help feeling something terrible's going to happen. I cry for you every night. Your loving mother, Camille Hamilton. Well, I don't like where this is going, chat.
Looks like they're lucky they weren't more badly injured.
Must have been unconscious. Being relaxed tends to lessen the soft tissue damage.
Yeah, because a lot of the time it's bracing that causes more damage because you tense everything up. But if you go relax and limp, you're more often fine.
Mrs. McAfee, we would like to ask you a few questions, if that's okay.
I prefer to use my maiden name, June Ballard. You might be familiar with some of my work.
Can you tell us what happened here?
You're kind of cute for a cop. Maybe a bit on the serious side.
What about me, June? I'm a big fan of Beast
You?
of...
I don't like. Keep out of this.
We understand that you're still suffering from the effects of the accident, Mrs. McAfee. The officer says that you claimed that you were drugged. Who did this to you?
That rat slipped us a Mickey Finn. It's no wonder I feel so dopey. I can't remember.
It's a serious offense to withhold information from the police during a criminal investigation, madam.
I told you to call me June. You're making me feel like an old lady. And don't bother your handsome head about this. My husband will settle the score with Mark Bishop.
You mentioned a Mark Bishop. You think he might have had something to do with this?
He's a movie producer. As for his involvement, you just leave it to me and my husband to worry about.
I want to know what
That's not how the law
made
works.
him want to commit a double murder.
Bishop offered me a part in his picture. Then he withdrew it. Fact is, we had a deal. I pressed him on it, and this is where I end up.
What can you tell us about the passenger in your car?
Jessica Hamilton. Poor Jessica. It's been a rough day for her. She's desperate to break into movies. What more can I say?
How old is Jessica, Mrs. Ballard?
I couldn't say how old Jessica is. Old enough, sweetheart, as the saying goes.
Yep, this is going where I think this is going.
This is a big scene, Phelps. We need to get our bearings. Let's go see the coroner.
Drunk driver?
Maybe not.
How so?
Well, a head I found without a body piqued my interest. See what you think.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. Is it real?
No. I think it's supposed to be a replica of an Indian shrunken head. It's some kind of curio or movie prop. See the casting marks?
What's it made from?
Plaster of Paris would be my first guess, then painted.
So we can rule out the murder angle?
No, you can rule that in. That thing was wedging the accelerator to the floor. Whoever did it wanted these women dead.
We should speak to Ballard again. She might not be telling us the whole story.
I did like that kind of moment of like humanity from Cole. He wants to be like underneath everything. He kind of wants to be liked. He's a man who's very much defined by his duty or his perceived idea of duty. So that obviously makes it difficult for him to get on with the people around him because they see Detective Phelps or Warrant Officer Phelps or whatever before they see Cole. But that's because that's the image that he projects. Which probably isn't uncommon for men in this time period.
We found a shrunken head that was used to tamper with your car.
You see, I normally don't drive off cliffs. The last thing I remember is getting behind the wheel.
It's obviously some kind of movie prop. You must know where it came from.
In case you hadn't noticed, I am the talent. And the talent doesn't deal with props or sets or any of that kind of stuff. Why don't you ask Mark Bishop?
That makes a lot of sense. Possibly why we know so little about his life outside of the LAPD. Wife and 2 kids only mentioned. He has kids?
Patrolman Gonzalez back to the receiving hospital.
I'm going to be okay. These guys can take me home after my lawyer and I have talked to the news house.
Mrs. McAfee, you are still under the influence of narcotics, and you're likely to go into shock once the drugs wear off.
And I thought you were a heel. It's nice of you to be concerned.
I think we're good here. Let's go see what we can shake out of the kid.
Officer, please, tell me what's going on.
I got friends who work in the Examiner. About $5.
KGPL to car 11K, 11 King. The car crash victim has regained consciousness at Central Receiving Hospital.
11K, Roger.
I know he's the wife, and but yeah, we don't. I mean,
Slow down.
if he doesn't have 2 kids, then perfect, perfect example of what I was saying. Or if he does or he doesn't, then like, either way, we don't know if he has children.
Right, you're gonna kill someone.
Excuse me, sir. Remember, guys, if you're enjoying the stream and you want to see more analysis of other video games like this, be sure to give us a follow. We stream 3 times a week, Monday, Thursdays, and Fridays. And if you want to see some of the games we've done in the past, you can use !archive to get linked to the Black Archive, which is where I store all of the VODs of the Filmmaker Plays series.
Hello, Detective Phelps, here to interview a Jessica Hamilton.
Jessica Hamilton. Oh, yes. She's in the room right behind you.
And you can use !social to check me out on various other social medias, including my YouTube, where we do video essay analysis of video games, and we talk about, again, just kind of what games mean to us as people. The latest video is on the Outer Wilds, and it's getting a really good response, and I'm very proud of it.
No, I don't need to be manhandled by a doctor. I need my lawyer.
Feeling better since this morning, Jessica?
Where is the telephone?
My head still feels sore.
Hello, Jessica. My name is Cole Phelps. I'm a policeman. I'd like to talk to you about your accident, if that's okay.
Okay.
That's very clearly just a shrunk down adult model with a kid's head put on top of it.
We need to get in touch with your parents, Jessica, to tell them what has happened.
Oh, you don't need to worry them. They sent me along to stay with Aunt June. They trust her to take care of me. Please, Detective, why would I lie to you?
You tell me.
Because you're a runaway, Jessica, and you don't have your parents' permission to be here. Now, do you want to tell me what really happened?
I went with Junie to this strange place. It's difficult to remember. Someone gave me a drink to calm my nerves, and then I felt faint. I think I must have passed out.
Can you tell me what you remember about the crash?
It's all kind of fuzzy. I remember waking up here. Nothing happened yesterday.
You're holding out on me, Jessica.
Please, I want my doctor. I'm not sure I can answer any more questions right now.
Lie. It should have been lie in the underwear.
I know what happened to you, Jessica. Where exactly did it take place?
Please, it's scary. It's really difficult to think of anything.
God damn it, tell the truth, Jessica.
I am telling the truth. I don't know where the place is. I barely know this city. I think you should leave now. You're being horrible to me.
How did you meet Mr. Bishop?
Well, Junie is a big movie star. You probably know that. She's doing a new movie.
What's the story with Bishop and Mrs. McAfee? Why does he want the two of you dead?
I That can't be true. Mr. Bishop seemed very happy today. I mean, yesterday.
And that's why he wedged a shrunken head against the accelerator pedal and punted the two of you over an escarpment?
I overheard Junie speaking to him on the phone a couple of times. Screaming, really. She can be very hard sometimes, Junie. But they seemed okay yesterday, like they worked it out.
Thank you, Jessica. You've been a big help. Here's my card. If you think of anything or you need some help, just get in touch, okay?
Okay.
I think it might be a good idea if you went back home till you felt better, Jessica.
I couldn't do that, officer. What if I got the part and I wasn't there?
Ah, poor Jessica.
It's the tale of this town, Cole. Lambs that go willingly to slaughter. Who the hell is that?
Must be her lawyer. He certainly expedited her release.
I don't like it, Cole. Why is she in such a hurry? We should follow her. There she goes. Come on.
No offense, but they didn't exactly need to be sneaky here. They're at the police station. Like, that's the one place where if I was on the lookout for Cole Phelps and Stefan Potowski, I'd be like, oh, okay. That makes sense. As we all know, 1 car distance behind is the appropriate tailing distance.
She seems to have made a remarkably speedy recovery.
All items on sale.
Get in there and see what she's up to.
Keep an eye on the lawyer.
That's one heck of a Sunday.
No, I don't want him taught a lesson. You know what I want. Well, then make someone else do it. You still know people out here, don't you?
What a good newspaper this is. What a interesting story this is.
Very clear about this. You get this done, or I'm
Soup.
Wilson's Hotel.
Fresh vegetable.
Bishop, that son of a bitch, lives in apartment 803.
The single sheet newspaper. That's why they call it the broadsheet.
Sure, I got the film.
After them.
So what's the story? I'm guessing she didn't stop to like refreshments.
She made a call. Sounds like Mark Bishop has a heap of trouble headed his way. I've got an address. Wilson's Hotel, apartment 803.
Oh, shit. You better step on it.
If he's got any sense, he'll be as far away from home as possible.
If you had any sense, you wouldn't have tried bumping off Guy McCaffrey's wife in the first place. Or he'd done the job properly. McCaffrey will break a fella's legs just for looking at him.
What did you make of the kid? Believe her story?
I think she was doped out of her tiny mind and given the casting couch. That fucking bitch Ballard sold her out.
Interesting that the phrase casting couch is this old.
Why did they try to kill her?
at apartment 803, Wilson's Apartment Hotel, 1220 West 7th Street, Westlake Park. 11K code 3. All other units code 2. KGPL.
Sorry.
Done it. Let's get to the apartment before someone gets hurt.
I ran over 2 people, sorry. Wait a minute, that's the Hyperion from Angel. I recognize this apartment building anywhere.
You the cops? I tried to stop them. It's room 803, left out of the elevator.
Sounds like we're about to make it a hat trick of hysterical female witnesses.
Look, lady, I told you what I told your husband.
Give it up, LAPD. I'm about to break this goddamn.
I forgot to fight.
All right. Really wanna dance.
Yeah! You knocked my hat off, you bastards.
Are you injured, Mrs. Bishop?
I'm all right now. Those horrible, awful men.
Perhaps you should sit down, ma'am.
Yes. Forgive me, officers. I'm very flushed. I'll just sit down for a moment.
What's that painting behind Phelps?
Take a moment while we look around.
Yes, thank you. Just look at this mess.
I'm assuming it's some depiction of the birth of Christ.
Not much help.
Oh, a wedding ring.
I don't think so.
Or just maybe a ring. $5.
I don't think this is going to help us.
Could go buy a milkshake. Intolerance.
Wall of Babylon. A replica of a replica. Looks like the old movie set downtown.
Nice clock.
Seems irrelevant.
beans. Could be important for the case. Stefan.
There's the set. Hollywood's own little piece of Babylon.
All right.
Those men, I think they work for Guy McAfee. Do you know the name?
No. Why should I?
June Ballard is married to Guy McAfee. Have you heard of her?
That slut. She's been badgering my husband for days.
Mrs. McAfee alleges that your husband tried to kill her and her friend last night. I think you should tell us what you know.
My husband's a movie producer. This has something to do with his new picture. He doesn't include me in his business.
June Ballard said she had a deal to be in his new picture.
Mark repeatedly told her no. He had Joan Leslie lined up for the role. That's how he got the finance. June made all kinds of threats. She was very rude to me.
You know June Ballard?
We were both on the same picture a few years back. That's how I met my husband.
Well, I'm clearly missing something.
Looks like a mermaid in the background. Silver screen. Who are these men in the picture?
My husband, Mark, and Marlon Hopgood. They work together on occasion. That's Hopgood's shop.
Advice?
Now all we need to know is who were those goons and why were they tearing up the floorboards in here? Ask Mrs. Bishop.
It would take a smarter man than me to connect that.
Do you know what's a fun little indie detective game if you are looking for one? Detective Grimoire.
Where can we find your husband, ma'am?
He told me he would be on set. That's all I know.
Either we find him or McAfee's people do, Mrs. Bishop. If you care for him, you should make sure that we find him first.
I do care for him. But I don't really know where he'd go if he were in trouble. Hopgood might know.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
That's going to be drilled into my head by the end of the series.
I need a location on a silver screen prop store.
Just a moment. Silver Screen Props, corner 3rd and Figueroa.
Thanks, ma'am.
Netflix have just announced more benefits for their premium plan, which is quite interesting considering we were literally discussing Netflix earlier.
An aging movie star, a wannabe starlet, a movie producer's wife, finally rubbing shoulders with the almost rich and famous.
And from the stories they've given us, clearly none of them can act.
I love this shade throwing.
Mrs. Bishop knows more than she's letting on.
She doesn't seem to realize how much trouble her husband is in. The LAPD are the least of their worries right now.
Yeah, you'd think she'd have gotten the hint after those Hatchet Man briefs decorated her apartment.
Maybe she's just loyal.
Or she's in on it. She didn't seem like your average gated broad with nothing between you.
She might just be trying to buy enough time for Bishop to put a couple of oceans between him and McAfee.
Technically, Stefan, it's all just one ocean. Not to be a pedant. Not to be a pedant, they said pedantically. I need to include that in my book, that line. We're here. That's just straight up titties. They even painted the nipple on and everything. It's a bear.
Phelps and Bukowski, LAPD. We're investigating the attempted murder of June Ballard and Jessica Hamilton.
Christ. I'm Marlon Hopgood. How can I help?
You hold castings here?
How'd you hear about that? I got a little soundstage out back.
Lead the way.
Here we go. Trigger warning, chat. For child sexual assault, probably.
Keep him here, Stefan. I'm gonna take a look around.
What's this got to do with me?
Don't try my patience, knucklehead.
Like the one we saw with the car. Well, if we can find the stand, then we have proof that it came from here. There's a camera in there.
Turn off the lights, Hopgood.
Why would I want to do that?
Humor him.
One-way mirrors. There's a room on the other side.
I bet he's going to say some shit like, oh, it helps the actors get a more natural performance.
Find a way into that peep den, Phelps. I'll stay here and keep our pervert company.
Doping a 15-year-old kid and abusing her in a screen test. What is wrong with these people?
No, this will be unrelated, I think.
Doesn't tell me anything.
Need to find like a trash can or something.
Can't be that way, Phelps. You couldn't fit a rat through there.
Maybe it's outside. That was very well done piece of art, I'm not gonna lie.
Jungle Drums, 8th and Francisco. Attention, Mark Bishop.
Mark Bishop and Jessica Hamilton.
So what happened to the film of Hamilton's screen test?
Screen test. Oh, gross.
I wonder if they saw this, how many budding starlets would still get on the bus to come to Hollywood.
Oh, it's really uncomfortable how many tapes are there.
So this is where you sprang from.
Oh, hey. Well, let's just take a break of this horrible case with some psychology.
Listen, I have to call you back. I got some business here.
Sit down, Courtney. This is Mickey. Mickey, this is Courtney Sheldon. What would you like to drink?
Scotch. Straight up.
I hear you're back at school learning to be a doctor, kid.
Yes. That's right, Mr. Cohen.
So you want to be a doctor and a dope peddler. Interesting combination, huh?
Do we have a problem, Mr. Cohen?
We might have, yeah. Selling your dope to my boy Lenny looked like a good move, but Lenny has been supplying, wholesale, so to speak. The Bindle boys in this town aren't used to the juice without a little of the middleman taking his cut.
Lenny promised that wouldn't happen, Mr. Cohen. And Lenny works for you.
What can I say about Lenny? Let me think. Oh yeah, he's a putz. And he's lazy, and he's greedy, but he's my wife's brother. And how can you make a cake with those ingredients, huh?
So how is that my problem, Mr. Cohen?
Well, kid, the only way we're going to be able to make this work is to do some repackaging. We need to get the dope out of those dinky little cardboard boxes and...
Surrettes.
Yeah, Surrettes. Great. We can put it into a big vat so we can water it down a little bit.
I won't bore you with the chemistry, but it doesn't work that way. You're likely to kill even more people.
Okay, listen. We want to buy you out, kid. I'll offer you 50 grand. Hey, hey! You don't like my offer? The Sheldon kid? I think I want him dead.
So at some point, Sheldon has started selling drugs. Overdose deaths at an all-time high. Alright, I think I have all we need to start questioning this guy.
You ever do any work for Mark Bishop?
Mainly do work for the studios. RKO, Republic, Warner Brothers. So yeah, when Bishop was doing work for a studio, yes.
When did you last see him?
Now I'm doing work for his next picture. Still pre-production though. Haven't seen him around here in a while.
Liar.
You're lying, Hopgood. Bishop was here, and you know exactly what he was doing and what he left lying around afterwards.
You come in here without a warrant, and now you start throwing your weight around?
Do 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 do.
I have a drugged-up 15-year-old girl, and you have chloral hydrate in your drinks cabinet. You give me something, or I will break your fucking jaw, Hopgood.
Bishop was here with June Ballard and the girl. A lot of producers and directors use this place. I'm not responsible for what goes on here.
McAfee's men are looking for Bishop. We need to find him first. Any idea where he might have gone to ground?
If he really tried to kill McAfee's wife, my advice to him would be to leave town.
I'm warning you, Hopgood. If you give him up to McAfee and we find out about it...
Wind it back a notch, tough guy. I'm telling you, I don't know where he is.
What's the deal with you and June Ballard?
Look, buddy, I make props. I hardly ever meet the talent unless it's something tailor-made for them, like a sword or something.
You and Ballard are blackmailing Bishop. That's why he cracked.
You got nothing on me. My hands are clean on this.
I'm about done with you
Damn
and
it.
your accusations. That's all for now, Hopgood. We're taking you in.
Phelps! Roy Earl, ad vice. Hold on a moment. This is clearly a vice case. You've been roughing up my informant?
Hopgood is a vice informer?
Yes, he is, Phelps, and a very important one. Look at that mug. Have you been upsetting these two officers, Marlon?
So we just drop it?
You do if you know what's good for you. You need to catch the movie producer before an angry husband does, from what I'm hearing.
I'll be making a full report to the captain, Detective.
You do that, kid. We're all very impressed with you.
Let it slide, Cole. Let's get out of
Hmm.
here.
Detectives.
Johnny Goldberg. You work for Mickey C.
That's right, detectives.
You wouldn't happen to know the guys who roughed up Mrs. Bishop earlier today by any chance?
No, not us. We don't do that kind of thing. It's the husband we'd like to talk to.
This is a police matter. You don't want to be taken in for obstruction of justice, do you, boys?
You could try the obstruction rap, but it won't stick. We could beat that.
You've had your 10 cents worth, gentlemen.
Bishop knows how the world works. Mrs. McAfee hits him up for a movie part. Happens every day. But Bishop takes it a step too far and tries to rub out Mrs. McAfee. Naturally, Guy is going to get upset.
What made you think Bishop would be here?
We figure he might be planning a little accident for Hopgood, too. Those two guys have got some unfinished business. You let us know if you find Bishop. Guy McAfee can be a very generous man.
I'm only going to warn you once, gentlemen. Stay out of this. This is a police matter. We will be bringing Mark Bishop into custody.
At least he's polite. Kind of dumb, but polite.
Well, we have a corrupt police force.
So let me put it in ruder terms that even a pair of blockheads like you might understand. The only reason that you don't have bars on your windows already is because you're small fry. And we don't waste our time on small fry. You stay away from Bishop, and you stay away from me. Is that clear enough for you, asshole? Now run along back to your boss so we can pat you on the head and tell you what good boys you are.
And then we show that Stefan is actually a good partner for Phelps because they do actually agree.
I don't think they like your little pep talk, Bukowski.
Oh, shit! Get us out of here! I'll try for the tires! Keep your foot down! They really don't want anybody getting to Bishop before they do. Enough games, Phelps. Take this guy out. Need to be closer, Cole. We need to lose those fools, Phelps.
Yeah, good driving.
Let's see him chase us now. Onto the movie set, Phelps. Let's roll.
Oh, Christ. And they say working traffic is like watching paint dry.
You know how to piss people off, Bukowski.
Hey, if they're prepared to gun down cops in broad daylight, McAfee really means business.
Seems like we're the only ones who want Bishop alive.
I have a good mind just to let him go work on the son of a bitch. I'm about done putting my life on the line to protect some child molester.
That's our job, unfortunately. They don't get to dole out the justice.
I wonder if as time comes on, we're going to see Phelps move gradually away from the idea that authority is inherently correct. Because that was his only goal in the war as well, was to gain a position of authority and be considered a hero. But now, he did gain a position of authority and is a hero, and he's actually kind of embarrassed about it. He seems ashamed by it. So whatever caused him to become a hero gave him that weird sense of reality that heroics aren't, well, they aren't all they're cracked up to be in stories. But he still has that rigid look into authority. Which again, natural for a soldier turned cop.
God damn.
It's kind of interesting that you don't get to decide, you know, what kind of police officer you're going to be. They're very much like, Cole Phelps is this kind of man.
There's the slippery bastard now.
No. God damn it! Mark Bishop, stop! LAPD! Get him, Phelps. I'll cover the exit.
11K calling KGPL, requesting assistance at 8 in Francisco, the abandoned movie set. My partner is pursuing suspect on foot.
See, again, this is an example of where I could just pull out my gun and do the warning shot thing, but it won't let me because Rockstar have decided they want to have this set piece. Pardon the pun. I like the little slowdown that Phelps gets whenever he climbs stairs.
It's us or McAfee's boy. Your choice. I didn't do anything.
Well, that's a fucking lie. This set is not past health and safety code. I'm not letting you knock my hat off. Oh, now I really just want to leave you for McAfee. There's a clip to add a bonk noise.
Mark Bishop, stop! LAPD! We're trying to help you, Bishop.
Now, I've got experience within the film industry. Nothing like this. But I have worked with... It's a sad fact that the film industry does seem to attract a large amount of misogynists. I've worked with people who have tried to cast women based on how personally attractive they find them. It's absolutely disgusting. I left that production not long after that.
Hands in the air, Bishop. Move another inch and you're dead.
Mark Bishop, you're under arrest for the attempted murder of June Ballard and the rape and attempted murder of Jessica Hamilton.
All right, I'll come quietly. Just don't kill me. If you found me, then McAfee's goons will too. Oh, we need to get out of here.
All right, but you stay close. Any tricks, and I'll save McAfee's boys the trouble.
Follow me. I know another way out of this place.
Christ, detective, they're trying to kill me! Last chance to back the hell down.
It's this way. McAfee doesn't make the rules. You hear me?
Kill them! There's no way out of here. I thought you said you knew where you were going.
We have to jump for it.
Of course we do.
LAPD, you're making a big mistake. Come on, it's this way. Is this really the best McAfee's got?
Oh.
God, they're everywhere.
That's a very painful death. I shot him in the arm and then he fell off the thing.
How long do you think you can hold out? Kill a cop, and it's the electric chair.
There's a ladder leading to the ground. This is insanity.
Whee!
Get him over here, I'll cover you. Come on, the cavalry's here.
Oh, come on, Phelps.
Those barrels at the base of the elephant column. They're full of gasoline. I don't want to die. Stay down. Over here.
Police brutality. But done really effectively.
There's an army of them. We're done.
Put the weapon Now, this is what I call a result. Mark Bishop, erstwhile film producer, an all-around piece of shit, catches a fast ticket to Quentin for statch rape and attempted murder. So he gets to spend the next 15 years playing sissy instead of sticking it to little girls. That is justice with a capital J, Detective Phelps. You developed such a reputation, I'm not going to be able to hold on to you any longer. You're getting promoted. Go on, get your new assignment. It was good working with you, son.
I like that little bit of friendship with Stefan right at the end. Oh, cool. Vice is here. He was clearly corrupt. Look at him. He has a flashy suit.
Phelps, Bukowski, this your work?
Can I help you, Detective?
Sorry, Cap. Didn't see you there.
Yeah, I'll bet you did. This is a traffic case. You need something?
I'm here to buy a drink for the 2 LAPD traffic cops who broke the back of Guy McAfee's private army. You don't have a problem with that, do you, Captain?
Go right ahead.
Get in. I'm buying.
He is so obviously corrupt.
You'll like this place. A lot of movie people hang out here. You like jazz, Cole? The hopheads love it.
Sure, I guess.
Big bands and swing I can understand, but this bebop palaver? How are you supposed to dance to that? This is Phelps, Leroy. Be nice to him. You'll like this place. They treat you right.
You like a table, Roy?
What do you think we want to do? Stand at the bar like
I'll
chumps?
get a table ready for you.
Don't look so happy to see me, Alphonse. I might get the wrong impression. Cole, this is Alphonse. He's a French Negro from Africa. Can you beat that?
The Congo.
Pleasure to meet you, Alphonse.
Is Elsa singing tonight?
Yes, she is. She has the next set.
Come on, Cole, you can meet Elsa while they're fixing us a table. You'll like her. She's something else.
Maybe another night, Roy. She's pretty beat up about it.
Get your hands off me. Don't ever tell me what to do or what not to do, Alphonse. You got a nice club here. Don't spoil it.
If you will follow me, detectives. Just through the door.
He was my only real friend, Harlan. We went through it all. Do you realize what he meant to me?
Of course I do.
You have no idea. You said it was construction work.
It was an industrial accident, Elsa. How can I be held responsible?
Elsa, are you going on?
Louis, for God's sake, he was my best friend. The only man who ever loved me without putting his hands on me.
Hi, Elsa. Here's someone I'd like you to meet. Cole Phelps, war hero and crime fighter extraordinaire.
And why would I want to meet another fascist from the LAPD?
Sorry about this, Cole. What an evening I'm having. First a Negro puts his hands on me, and then this. Who do you think you're talking to, you German junkie whore? Don't you ever forget your place with me again. Do you hear me? Evening, Doc. How's business?
Sanguine. Louis, help me here. I'm gonna have to give her something before her performance.
Blow it off, Cole. These artsy-fartsy types always get a little flighty. Meet Dr. Harlan Fontaine, doctor to the stars. Mr. Fix-It to the mental wreckage of Hollywood. So what about that drink, boys?
Ooh, plot stuff. Plot stuff. So we have the A plot and the B plots kind of correlating here. In writing for... We're not doing this. In writing for film and television, you have a concept of the A plot, the B plot, and the C plot. So the A plot is kind of it's the main focus of the narrative. Be it of the episode, it could be, if it was a TV show, it could be an episode or season arc. It could be, for a movie, it's the main plot line. The B plot is the secondary plot. So in serialized TV, that might be the plot of the episode. Or it could be the plot of... I got those the wrong way around. Sorry, the A plot is the plot of the episode. The B plot would be either a side story or the overarching seasonal story. In film, the A plot is very much the central plot. The B plot is a side story. And then the C plot is what you do kind of with the rest of the characters to some extent. In serialized TV, it's maybe a more comedy-based side story, for example. Good example doing this is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You'll notice they often pair characters off into 3 stories. So you'll have the A plot, typically of Jake and Amy doing something. Then you have the B plot, and it maybe explores in season 1 Charles's growing obsession with Rosa. And then you have the C plot, and it's whatever's going on back at the precinct with Terry, Hitchcock, and Scully. It's a way of writing. So now we have a convergence of the A plots and the B plots here in LA Noire, where the A plot is very much whatever's going on with Cole, every case-by-case issue, and the B plot is whatever's going on with Dr. Fontaine. And we're starting to see those plots come together. And what further lays credence to the Vice is corrupt theory is the fact that, 1, he's a fucking dickhead, but 2, we have seen Vice introduce Cole to the B plot, to the corruption. He's been used as a vessel to introduce our protagonist to our antagonists, which implies that he is somewhere on that antagonistic lineup as well. Anyway, with that, folks, we're going to call it an episode. I hope you very much enjoyed watching. Thank you very much for coming out today. Chat was really active today. It was great. I really enjoyed seeing you all. So, yeah. If you want to support the stream, you can give me a follow here on Twitch. It really helps. And if you want to support me in a more direct way, you can head over to Ko-fi and support me economically on that. Ko-fi supporters get behind-the-scenes content, exclusive content, and early access to YouTube video essays. Speaking of YouTube video essays, you can follow me on various social medias to just get more of my general kind of chats and ramblings about things. And you can head over to the YouTube to watch more constructed and generally thought out video essays. And you can also join the official Skye Blacke Discord to chat with like-minded community members and get updates about what's going on with the channel, vote on polls, do stuff like that, and just hang out with a bunch of great people. Thank you all very much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode of LA Noire if you're interested. So I look forward to seeing you all then. Same time, same place. Since there's 7 of us, let's see if there's anyone we can raid. Dr. Mick is playing God of War Ragnarok. We're going to raid Dr. Mick. Dr. Mick is a trained psychiatrist who does something very similar to what I do. He goes through video games and analyzes them from a therapist's perspective. It's really interesting. It's actually what inspired me to do this. So we're going to go hang out with Dr. Mick for a wee while. Drop some burn emotes if you've got them. And enjoy the show. Thanks for watching, everyone. And I will see you in the next one.